Hello, everyone, and thanks for listening to this very special podcast wrapping up the first week of Degrassi Season 11. I'm joined today with two very special guests, Alex and Taylor, who you may know better as DG Experience. I know you two were very busy today listening to some Mandy Moore, of course, and baking cake. So thanks for taking the time out to discuss Degrassi today.
You know us all too well. It's a pleasure.
Just to kick it off here, talking about the favorite episode of the week. We got Boom Boom Pow, Love Game, What's My Age Again, and Idiotech.
I think we're unanimous that Idiotech was our favorite of the week, and Love Game pulled out the most emotion from us.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, Idiotech definitely was a great one. For my favorite, the Owen and Anya kiss. I think you guys are against that, right?
No, we're so.
Oh, you're for that?
Yeah, we ship Onya hardcore.
Real hard.
I must have been reading someone else then, because I saw a lot of people were against that.
No.
I actually noticed that as well, and I'm kind of surprised.
Everyone hates Owen because he's kind of a jerk, but I think Anya's going to change him.
Owen, does he remind you of Jay at all, or is that just me?
Oh, no, it's me, and maybe that's why I also enjoy him a lot, because I love Jay.
He reminds me of Jay, but he's more Lucas, Mia's baby daddy.
Yeah, like a cross between.
He's very Lucas.
What about the Connor storyline?
Love it.
We laughed so hard, and we're just so happy that there's still a continuity with like his Asperger's syndrome, and they're keeping that story alive. We've been talking about this all day, how it's sort of Connor doesn't really understand like the sexual aspect of it. He's kind of trying to tap into this through stealing underwear.
And he's talking about like poly cotton blend. Like nothing about it is sexual. It's really funny, and I'm so glad that they're using AJ Sowden and that, you know, their characters, Wesley and him, they're coming back into the show more. We want to see more plot with Connor and Wesley.
See, that you brought up a good point about, you know, the continuity of him and everything. Because when I was watching it, I was thinking, you know, first, you know, it was good, kind of funny, and then I thought it was kind of weird, but you did bring up a good point about, you know, everything you just said.
It was super eerie, especially when you first see him go into Fiona's bedroom and start to go in for the underwear, because at first it's just so quiet in the scene, and you're like, okay, what exactly is he going for? And then he pulls it out, and you're like, oh, well, there it is. And now he's on an underwear rampage.
What's going to happen next?
He's going to get caught somehow.
I think he's going to get caught, and what I want to see them bring someone in for him. We've always wanted him to have a love interest.
Yeah.
And then what about Miss O taking a shower during school? I thought that was kind of crazy.
It was first of all, when she walked in with the jogging uniform and she was exercising like mid-school day, we were like, since when?
You're like, healthy life, guys. Going to take a shower. I was like, really? Does that happen? Okay.
And then when Connor and Wesley were walking into the locker room to go snatch her underwear, we were like, that's not happening right now. They're not going in to take her underwear.
So what about your favorite character of the week?
Honestly, we were really blown away with like every character scenario of the week. We're very impressed with the whole Casey and Jenna plotline and the fact that they're sort of becoming humanized in the show.
The acting has really, for both of them, has just been stepped up to like a whole nother level. It was really impressive.
Yeah, and they're finally sort of getting this more intense plotline, and I think it's pulling a lot more out of them as actors.
Well, my favorite of the week, I think, was probably Drew. I think Luke as an actor, not that he was bad or anything before, but just from when he started to now, the emotion he gave in the storyline I thought was really good.
Oh, we definitely agree. We were talking about that a lot, that I think that Luke has become a much stronger actor, and that these plot lines are giving him more to work with. Everybody's getting a lot of intense plots this
It has so much to do with the writing and how much more intense, and we're getting all these character arcs. It's just, there's a lot going on.
Now, the big question, of course, with every season is a death. Do you think there will be anyone else that will die that is a main character or a semi-main character?
We've been discussing this since we saw Idiotech, and since, you know, Drew got beat up at the end of the episode, and they said, you know, they're coming back at some point, they'll find him, and we know that there's going to be some sort of violence at prom.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking, is someone going to die, or is it just going to be some scary violence going on?
I mean, I'm thinking there's not going to be a death. I think if anything, but we're still debating on, will there be injury? Will somebody get shot? Like, maybe they won't die, but is something going to happen like that? You know?
For some reason, the first person that comes to mind when I think of death at prom is Sav, just because we know he's leaving the show, and it was a very emotional send-off for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know, but I kind of feel like it won't be a death.
But perhaps something violent,
intense.
something intense.
Definitely. Because, it's a Degrassi dance. When is it ever a happy time?
Right.
Now, what about Fiona and Charlie?
Not crazy about it.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Charlie is very old for Fiona. I don't know. I just didn't see a spark there. I love Fee. I want her to be happy with someone. I think that it would be really cute if she had a good girlfriend. I don't know. I'm not getting the whole Charlie Fee thing.
I think that Fiona more loved the idea of like Charlie on a scooter. Like Fiona seemed to be more in love with the scooter idea than with Charlie.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris too. Do you think is he gone from the show or?
He's gone though.
We think he's gone, and we're laughing so hard at the Kenya thing. We're like. We said last night the Degrassi writers have an expo board, and there's a list of places that they send characters when they're writing them off, and it goes 1, Kenya, 2, Paris, like
war in Iraq,
3, war in Iraq, and I don't know. I guess Dr. Chris is going to see Darcy.
Yeah, him and Darcy are gonna go hang out. It's Onya all the way.
Yeah, we were like, why did he even string her along? Like basically that entire episode was rain clouds over Anya's head.
I know, I felt so bad.
She never stopped crying.
But about Dr. Chris, someone brought up that, you were talking about Darcy, that maybe she'll come back for a cameo, but I'm not holding my breath for that one.
Oh, I'm not holding my breath either.
I'm not holding my breath for that, but we all know that Stevens has been talking about making a Degrassi movie where they're going to bring back all these characters. So, maybe someday.
Well, on the plus side of possibly having Darcy, when they were filming, like the episodes that just aired this week were filmed right before 90210 went on hiatus. For the season, so I guess there is a slight maybe chance of something, but who knows with that.
Well, I think I only know this from Twitter, but I think Sinead Grimes was like in New York City for quite a bit during the hiatus. So I highly doubt she was like shooting Degrassi, but
you never know.
Yeah.
And then this week we also got a little bit from Holly J, talking about her dialysis and everything, and we're gonna get more on that next week.
You're so terrified for her plot.
I know. I mean, I love Holly J, and I love whenever they give her a main plot, but her plots have been so scary recently. Like, I am just so worried for her.
Especially in the promo, more so about the whole why aren't there any baby pictures of me
right?
thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're so like, what is going on? Like, I can't even comprehend what they're pulling out of their hats this season. We're going to see her go through quite a bit of struggles.
Mm-hmm. So now the big one, Claire, Eli, and Jake, of course. Where do we start on this one?
Let's just first say that we had high hopes for Jake being a nice guy.
We did. We were like, Imogen we're not too happy with after seeing all these promos and all these pictures. We're like, you know what? She seems like a creepy creep. But at least Jake, he's kind of smiley. He's kind of cute. Didn't really smile that much, and when he was being a jerk.
At first sight, when we saw him hitting on Allie, I was like, okay, you're done.
Yep.
You haven't even said anything, and you're dead to me. Like.
And he's a little piggy. He's eating all this food. I don't like him at all. I can't find one likable thing about him.
When he said end scene, we killed him.
We actually hurt him. It was terrible.
We said, are you kidding me right now? And then he asked her to make out. And I was like, oh, are you really kidding me?
Taking advantage of vulnerable Claire. I was like, wow, okay. You're a great guy, really.
And he's like, why does everything have to be so dramatic? And you know what? He's causing a lot of drama, so...
You're on paper towels, like, you need to go back to your brawny and be done.
As for Claire, I think she was looking for a lot of forgiveness and that she did want to make things right, and she didn't know that Eli was on medication.
Right. So I think, and I've noticed that a lot of people are really mad at Claire right now.
But you can't be.
She was in a vulnerable state. I mean, she's 15.
People forget that she's 15 years old. Eli, I mean, God, like, congratulations to Monroe Chambers for...
Another amazing performance as usual.
He was lifeless. Like, how pathetic was he to watch in this episode?
That last scene, absolutely heartbreaking.
And the look on her face when she realizes, oh my God, what have I done, sort of thing. It was just like, wow. Like, those two pull so much out of one 30-minute episode. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
The promos for next week, Imogen, where it seems like she's imitating Claire to help Eli get over her.
Yep. We called that a while ago.
We did. In one of our vlogs, we talked about how we thought Imogen was going to be this creep that's going to be like, oh, I am Claire. And then she actually said, I'm Claire Edwards. And we were like,
yeah, that was like, wow.
we're still debating whether, are they role-playing because Imogen is trying to help Eli get over the relationship? Are they rehearsing for the play that Eli is allegedly basing off of him and Claire's relationship?
Right, or is it somewhere in between that?
It might be both.
Yeah, it might be for both. And I mean, like, the whole thing is that she's saying that she's trying to help him get over her. And then I bombed. I was like, that is a lie. You are going in for the kill right now. Do not wear denim. That is Claire.
And underneath all like the murky, scary Imogen-ness of it all, I do think that there is going to be a point where I'm going to say, you know what, I'm enjoying her performance, but I'm never going to accept it, you know?
And that's the thing. That's the thing with both Jake and Imogen. The actors, and don't get us wrong, we love them. And there is going to be, there's going to be interesting parts of their performance. We can't hate on the performance, but we can hate on what's happening on the show.
And they're doing their job because they are pulling these feelings out of us.
Right.
So.
Do you think that Eli and Claire will get back together?
Absolutely.
Definitely gonna happen.
Definitely gonna happen, right?
I think people are holding their breath and waiting for it to happen towards the end of Now or Never, and I'm thinking it might happen towards the end of season 11, and it might even take a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, it could take a long time, but in the end, Endgame, Claire.
Definitely.
You know, coming up also next week, we finally have a Riley and Zane plotline.
Love Xylee.
Especially Shannon Cookchun. He's just so talented.
Do you think the balance has been good so far for, you know, balancing all the different characters for the first week?
I think, yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Especially in What's My Age Again? They were showing us 4 plots in one episode.
And it didn't feel rushed at all. I felt like I got a bit of every different plot that they were talking about.
Yeah, and it felt it was well balanced. Like, there was a progression, there was a conclusion. It was all very, like, platter, like, serving you. It was just very good.
Wasn't that in Love Game when they had the scene that took 36 takes to do?
Yeah. And it was sort of, I think Chloe Rose mentioned that on one of her interviews. She said it was sort of a long shot because it was like every character in that one like opening scene where they're all sort of walking in and acknowledging each other.
Oh, I love the first scene. I was so happy to see everyone one after the other, like, get to have a little daily dose of all my characters.
And we, when they announced Imogen Moreno on the loudspeaker, we just
our blood boiled.
Yeah,
but,
we were a little angry, but it's okay.
I like how they're doing, like, they announced her in the speaker, and then they had Katie in the background of one of the episodes. How they're kind of slowly
incorporating them. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other little things so far this season that you're enjoying?
Well, we were like reanalyzing these new promos that we got last night for next week, and we're super interested in the Dave and Adam plot line.
Right, because we haven't seen much of Dave in recent stuff, and we love Adam so much, and we're always, begging for more Adam stuff. The plot line looks really interesting. The whole bathroom scene, we didn't, because we were so angry about Imogen and everything, we didn't even notice like what was said during that little promo part.
We're also like super thrilled for Katie. We just know we're gonna like her character. She's sort of like this morph of like Holly J and Jane and Liberty like all in one. Like she's sort of like this like girl in charge. But I think she's gonna have a lot to do with like the Eclair sort of coming back together. And,
right.
And we're excited for Mo, of course.
Oh, very excited for Mo.
And I'm also interested to see how the Allie and Dave relationship actually pans out, if it happens.
Oh, and 7 this up. Kind of excited for that, too.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to actually have a relationship?
For a hot minute, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited only because we've seen that happen with, like, Mr. Oleander and Paige, but we've never seen it in the opposite, where it's a guy and a girl, but the guy is the student.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a pretty interesting dynamic right there.
I'm curious to see if anybody even finds out.
Right.
We did see the one scene where Mo is sort of like telling him, like she's really into you. So, I mean, it seems like they're portraying it as sort of a lighter plot for right now, but I think it'll probably have some sort of dramatic demise because doesn't it always?
Right. It's Degrassi. How could it not?
Yeah.
The music of the season.
The music is always pulling out the exact emotion that you should be getting from whatever you're seeing.
I mean, there have been so many great moments where I'm just like, that song made that scene 1,000 times better. Like, it works so well.
Aren't they all independent artists?
Yeah.
Based on season 10 and season 11, the first weeks, can you say, is 11 better, the same?
I think they're both phenomenal. I think the first week of season 11 feels a whole lot heavier.
I think it's going to get more intense than season 10 did. I mean, if that's possible. It's crazy, but it's hard to say if it's going to be better or just very different.
And I've said this a lot of times, like, Degrassi to me is a teenage soap opera, and it's becoming more so that.
Anything else you want to add?
Oh, eat Claire forever. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for taking the time out to talk to me, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Okay.